here with our trick of the week, which is the matrix. This is definitely one of my favorites to teach. It's a delightful trick for students to learn. It is most 100% definitely a level 2 trick, maybe even a level 3 trick, just depending on where your students are, where your studio is. Super fun. It has a lot of different prerequisites to it. So first prerequisite is Superman from hip hang. Second prerequisite is knowing how to go around the world. Third prerequisite is the ability to do a pullover. So 3 prerequisite moves, and then even within those moves, there are things that I will drill out before doing the whole thing together. So for instance, I'll make people do Superman floppy fish lifts probably 6 to 10 times to warm up their core and their back strength. Then I'll have them go around the world 6 to 10 times on each side and definitely do some shoulder mobility exercises to warm up their shoulders. Then I'll have them do around the world, but stop and separate their handles to crisscross over their leg and be able to snap back into Superman. Then with the leg crossed, just standing, crossing the fabric over your thigh, I'll have people work pullovers and landing on their hips. So let's break down the whole trick though, and then I'll show you the different exercises that we do for it. So the whole trick, start from a hip hang Superman, however you'd like to get there. One hand grabs your handle. Now, this hand is really the only very important hand throughout the whole trick. It's the one that's always going to be grabbing the fabric. Now, whatever hand is grabbing your swing, that same leg comes up through the center of the fabric, and then you use your free hand to grab onto your opposite handle, and you try to separate the handles and create enough space for both of your legs to come through the center of your handles and catch at your hips again. Perfect. So now you're back in a Superman with one leg crossed. Now, the hand that has continued to grab the whole time still grabs. Your other hand, once you land on your hips, lets go. You bend your elbow, and this is where students can get pretty confused as to which direction they're supposed to go. A lot of times they want to go forward again, but that's not what you do. You bend your elbow, pull your torso back through the center of your handles, and this is why I call it the Matrix, because this free arm kind of looks like the Matrix movie move. As you bring your torso back through the center of your handles, then you have a window open for your free leg to come back up through the center, and you can snap back into your Superman, right? So that's a pretty involved trick, and it is not something that you just want to teach all at once. Way too many things going on. So, what are floppy fishes? I'm going to move to this swing because it's a little bit higher, and I don't feel like pulling out my ladder. Floppy fishes, kind of a hard move, a little on the scary side for a student who's never done it, but it really warms up your back and teaches you to curl into a little ball, catch yourself. So what you do, from a hip hang position, knees in your chest, you use all of the strength of your core, open your arms out wide, try to lift yourself up, land in Superman. A little bit harder than it looks, so what most people will do is get up about this far and then kind of collapse back down. They just need to hug their knees back into your chest. So it's an inhale, lift, exhale, come down. Inhale, lift, exhale, down. Then you want to train your around the world. So one hand, and we've done this before. There's another video on it in the series. Leg up and through, back around to a seat. And then you want to train your snapbacks so that the students can learn both where they're starting in the matrix and where they're ending in the matrix back in their Superman. So from Superman, one hand grabs, you bring your leg up through the center, grab your opposite handle, pull, then let your hand go, bring your leg back through the center, snap all the way back into your Superman. So that's a good little oblique sort of pelvic exercise, snapping yourself back, pulling yourself through. Now, move this a little bit more. For the pullover, this is probably one of the most challenging if your student hasn't gotten a really successful pullover yet. And this is where you want to be there to help guide them a little bit. So they don't have to do it from in their hip hang unless they want to. Whatever leg goes in the swing, your opposite handle crosses towards you and you crisscross the fabric, then bring your leg through the center. Now, this is different than most of the pull-ups that you've probably taught where you're teaching people to have elbows in and down, because to make space, you need to have your elbows wide so that your legs can get through the center of the swing, because you have to take your handles and really separate them. Now, a lot of your students, when they do this, want to push off the floor and jump back. But like we learned with the general pullover, that makes it a lot harder on them. So they need to be able to curl into a little ball and get both of their knees through the center of the fabric. So shoulders down, elbows wide, inhale. As you exhale, you push off the floor, try to hug your knees into your chest, and then bring it back down. And maybe that's what you have to train. If students are a bit further along in this, they separate, push off the floor, knees into chest, invert, and here's the thing. They need to slide down from there. If they keep going back, they'll land on their guts, and that's uncomfortable. So for this, as soon as you're upside down, you pause and let yourself just slide down. So again, elbows wide, shoulders down, invert, and slide. Then is the hand of the leg that's wrapped that lets go as you pull yourself all the way back up and just have them bring their foot back down to the floor. And then you put it all back together. So that could definitely take up a solid 45 minutes of your class, just going through all of these different little exercises and then combining them together for a really fun trick called the matrix. Next week, I'm going to do the matrix again, but with a different entrance and exit to it. So again, super fun, and I hope you guys all have a really great holiday.